Pokemon Center ETBs. Yes, I'm gonna be making another video about this. I've had so many people reach out to me and ask me, being like, "Hey, can you give me any information about this? Make a video about this. Make a video about this." Okay, don't worry, I got you. I got you. Let's talk about it. The Mega Evolution Pokemon Center ETB. Yes, yes, yes. We're gonna be talking about this again. Hopefully, this is the last video I'll be making about this. Hopefully, within the next couple of days, we'll all be having this and make sure we have our pre-order secured, everything like that. I'm hoping that's how it goes. But let's get over into it in this video. So right now, in my opinion, we're in no man's land right now. Honestly, do I think it's going to drop this week? It should, honestly, off of past releases and everything like that. We're going to be going into a lot of information in this video, kind of going through the dates and stuff like that, which I personally think it's definitely going to drop this week, but I kind of have an idea of maybe what day it's going to drop because of what's happened in the past. So all I'm going off of base of here, just pulling stuff from the air and looking at what past data, maybe see what could potentially happen in the future, okay? Just want to make that very clear because a lot of people think I'm like the Pokemon Whisperer and everything like that. I'm going to get it all right. I'm going to pick the perfect day. No, no, no. I might go live today as well too. I'm not 100% sure yet. Let me know if y'all want me to go live again. I feel like it's kind of like, I don't know at this point because we don't know what day it's going to go, but we'll see what happens. Alright, so the information I want to start getting into. So first I want to get into Destined Rivals. Destined Rivals is really the one we're going to kind of be focusing on here, but at the same time we're going to be focusing on something else. So if y'all don't know, Destined Rivals Pokemon Center ETBs released on March 24th was the, what's it called? It dropped on the Pokemon Center, Rattle's Discord, shout out to them, amazing place. But March 24th is when this ETB dropped. But what's very, very interesting about this, if y'all don't know what March 24th was, is March 24th was the same week as the Journey Together release. That's very interesting, ain't it? Because as we've known before, if y'all don't know before, what Pokemon Center typically did is they would release it the week before the set would come out. But starting with Destined Rivals, they changed it up a little bit. And we were all waiting for it on March 21st. I thought it was going to come out. I literally had a whole live stream. Everybody remembers it. It was an amazing time, amazing time. But what was interesting is we had no information on March 21st. Nothing at all. But they waited until the week after on March 24th to actually show us everything as we see here. And the one thing that was really interesting as well too at this drop is they showed everything around 9 a.m. but the rest of the products didn't really come out until later on that day, around like 2 hours later or something like that. So this was the first time in a long time, as I've personally been in Pokemon, that whenever Pokemon put up like this page on their Twitter and stuff like that, that it didn't come up on the Pokemon Center at the same time. It came on a little later. So speaking of that, that's what we're kind of getting into for the rest of this. And ever since Destined Rivals, it's been kind of a little weird the way this has been. So remember that with Destined Rivals, okay? They showed it on their Twitter page March 24th, everything like that, and Journey Together released that same week. Remember that. See what I'm saying? We're gonna come back to it here in a little bit. We're gonna come back to it, but I want to look at another release and kind of go back on that. So Black Bolt and White Flare. This one is also very interesting, but I can kind of mixing the two, what's going on with both of them together, to kind of predict when the Mega Evolution set will come out. Okay. So with Black Bolt and White Flare, this one was very, very interesting because if y'all don't know, this released on the Pokemon Center on May 7th. May 7th was a very interesting time. And why am I saying that? Because May 6th is when the Pokemon Company really showed this set off and everything like that. As I said earlier with Destined Rivals, they showed it off, but this was the first set they showed off and released it a little bit later during the day. Black Bolt and White Flare, they revealed it that day, but didn't release the products that day, which is very, very interesting. So if y'all don't know when Black Bolt and White Flare products got released in the Pokemon Center, as I said, Black Bolt and White Flare was unveiled and everything like that by the Pokemon Company on May 6th. May 6th, okay? If y'all don't know that, this was a really, really weird time. Why am I saying that? Because Destined Rivals released May 30th. May 30th. Literally like 2.5 weeks early they released the Pokemon Center ETBs. This was the earliest I've seen them release the Pokemon Center ETBs. Really, really interesting. Okay, now we're looking at May 6th. Look, as I said, they showed it off, but they didn't release the Pokemon Centers on the Pokemon Center until May 7th. May 7th was literally the next day. It's like I said, we haven't really seen, and this is like a kind of weird time for us. We haven't really been in a time like this where they've released it on a different day and everything like that. Now, when we get to the Mega Evolutions, now we're really in a really, really weird place with this because on July 10th, as y'all know, Thursday, literally last Thursday, they showed this set. They previewed it and everything like that. I personally suspected it was going to be that day because they released it and everything like that. But guess what? even the next day after that, Friday, they didn't show it off at all. Nothing really happened. They didn't do anything. They dropped, as we known, they dropped the weird little binders and everything like that. We got you know, Pokemon Company does Pokemon Company. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting. But with them doing this now, what do I predict this is gonna happen? When do I think this is gonna release? Well, in my opinion, I kind of think it's gonna be the same as Destined Rivals and the same as Black Bolt and White Flare. What am I meaning by that? Well, as I was saying earlier, Black Bolt and White Flare was revealed on May 6th, but the products got released the next day. Okay? But with Destined Rivals, it was revealed and released on March 24th, which was that Monday. So, in my personal opinion, what day am I thinking this is going to happen? I think it's going to happen March 4th, March 14th, which is the day I'm releasing this. And what time am I going to say this was going to happen? Well, as we've seen earlier, this is going back to Black Bolt and White Flare. As you see with these notifications on May 7th, since then, we have had Pokemon Center products released from 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Between that time and about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is kind of the window for releases since recently. I would say Destined Rivals was a little different. It was 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but since Black Bolt and White Flare, we haven't changed the times. Times have not changed. And why do I think Pokemon Center has changed the times to later in the day? It's more for, I think, the West Coast, honestly, in my opinion. But them releasing Destined Rivals at 11 a.m., that would mean it's releasing at like 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You see what I'm saying? So, like, I think they're wanting to get more of, help them out on the West Coast a little bit, release the times better. Let's say they're releasing products at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That means they're releasing on the West Coast, I think at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or like 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You see what I'm saying? It's more early, it's more later in the morning, so more people are up and everything like that. Everybody will have a chance. That's just my opinion of why they're doing these drops so later. So, to kind of, I guess, conclude this all, what days are we kind of thinking for here? I think it's going to happen this week. We all know Black Bolt and White Flare releases July 18th. Literally this week, I think it's going to be the same thing as Destined Rivals. It will release either the 14th or the 15th. It's one of these 2 days. Some people are saying maybe even Wednesday. I don't really know. The one thing a lot of people are saying is Tuesday, because if y'all don't know and y'all haven't caught on yet, Pokemon Center has been releasing a lot of products on Tuesdays. That's kind of when they've been releasing products. So we'll see what really happens here. We're in a really interesting time right here. Like I said, we don't even know when it's going to drop. I could just be making, like I said, I'm just pulling stuff out of the air, but kind of want to answer people's opinions and look at my thoughts on this and where I'm kind of pulling this information from and everything like that. Break it down for you all the best I can. But I think it's going to be Monday or Tuesday. More likely Monday, just because of how far we're kind of like weird with this. Like I said, I think it's going to be like a Destined Rivals kind of thing. And also with the Black Bolt and White Flare releasing on the 18th, I don't think they'll try to do it too close to that date, because they want to have the Mega Evolution set be its own little thing. You know what I mean? Like that on the Pokemon Center. That's just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts. What do y'all think? When do y'all think it's going to drop? Hopefully it's the last video. Hopefully we get this all soon. Let me know your thoughts. See you on the next one. Peace.